you think you're doing the planet this favor by ordering paper over plastic, right? But what if I told you that paper cup, like at Starbucks or coffee's chain, actually has plastic in it? It's crazy, right? I actually just learned this myself. It's just nuts. They all, sadly, nearly all paper cups have a small amount of plastic inside of them. It's like around 10%. Because if there's no plastic liner, then the hot liquid would just turn that cup into mush, right? And the good news is that Starbucks in certain areas like Seattle, San Francisco, they're experimenting with a different type of cup that's biodegradable. And Europe has launched one that's plastic free and degrades a whole lot better for the environment. But more bad news is that paper cup, right? It has plastic ingrained in it, and if you try to recycle it, it's very hard for the machines to pull them apart, the cardboard from the plastic. So they don't really take them. And if they do, like a single coffee cup can really destroy an entire load of cardboard that would have been okay to recycle, and they just throw into a landfill. So it's really no bueno, okay? And more bad news is these microplastics are just not good. They're not good to drink. That's a big concern. The hot liquid goes into the cup. That heat can cause the plastic to degrade, and you can have a whole bunch of plastic particles, trace amounts of heavy metals inside of them. It sucks. I mean, the health effects are still being studied, but we all know it's no good. All right? So one option to do, and this is what I do all the time, and knock on wood, I don't remember the last time I even ordered coffee. You save yourself a bunch of money, right? I mean, geez, as I'm making this video, gas prices are crazy. And don't order coffee. Just make it from home. So that's one option. And now, funny enough, if I ever do fly, I'm horrible on planes with coffee, and I just learned this myself too. But there's no EPA requirement for cleaning those actual coffee brewing machines in planes. So maybe for me myself, I'm gonna go to tea now because I just learned that myself. Like, oh shit, those machines don't get cleaned in planes. No, I don't know what kind of shit that you're drinking. Okay. Another option is just to bring your own coffee cup. And they have a whole bunch of mugs like this. And they actually have one that actually shrink down. So it's very tiny. You can bring it yourself around you. And what's kind of cool about this, if you travel, a lot of places will actually give you a discount if you bring your own coffee mug. And so you will save money and not drink the plastic. So that's kind of cool. And lastly, if you do have to have a paper coffee cup, it's best just to let it wait for a little while. Okay? Wait a few minutes before you put it on the lid and you take a sip, because letting the coffee cool slightly, it hugely reduces the amount of plastic that gets released. Doesn't sound good at all. Okay. And I got this post here. I put a whole bunch of really cool, weird stuff. You can kind of geek out and different options on it and stuff too. And there's a whole tear test I put in there to make sure that you can see for yourself it has plastic in it. I kind of explain how that works. And before I forget, if you've gotten something from this video so far, then please consider hitting the like button and the subscribe button. That helps me. And another issue too, which is kind of fascinating, I just learned this myself, is even if you try to recycle those coffee cups that are paper, obviously the small amount of coffee, sugar, and milk residue is another major issue for the recycling centers. So it's just easier just to send them to a whole landfill than contaminate their whole machine with it. And here I put a whole bunch of ways on you could save some cash if you do travel. And I'll put this post below in the description, as well as the first comment, so you can kind of, if you want to geek out on some of these cool stuff I put in here. And I also have a whole nother video on other ways on reducing plastic if you do travel or get outside your house. I think this summer I'm not going to be traveling as much because of gas prices, but I still will get out there. hit the backcountry or something like that. But what's interesting too about the whole plastic thing is there's a lot of ways you can actually put money in your pocket by going green. And I think that's the big motivator, okay? Because I don't think, yeah, we all care about the planet and all too, but we also got to care about our pocketbook. And I think that is kind of a little fun fact. But when solar panels, when they first came out and they were way too expensive, people didn't really get into them. Like, yeah, but then they started putting money in your pocket. Like, okay, it's interesting now. I'm going to go into the solar panels because I can actually make money, right? So that's how it all works. But I'll put the link to that video on other ways on reducing plastic and putting more money in your pocket. I'll put it up here, and I'll put it down in the description as well, and so you can check it out. All right. You have a wonderful and blessed, wonderful rest of your day. Bye.